Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old he will not depart from it. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, loving favor rather than silver and gold. A merry heart does good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a fatted calf with hatred. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. The wise in heart will receive commands, but a prating fool will fall. A fool vents all his feelings, but a wise man holds them back. He who covers a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates friends. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. A man of understanding will hold his peace. He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city. The heart of the wise teaches his mouth and adds learning to his lips. He who despises his neighbor sins, but he who has mercy on the poor, happy is he. In the multitude of words sin is not lacking, but he who restrains his lips is wise. A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calls for blows. A man who flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his feet. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring forth. A faithful man will abound with blessings, but he who hastens to be rich will not go unpunished. The simple believes every word, but the prudent considers well his steps. A man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. He who sows iniquity will reap sorrow, and the rod of his anger will fail. The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion. A prudent man foresees evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. The wise man saves for the future, but the foolish man spends whatever he gets. The righteous considers the cause of the poor, but the wicked does not understand such knowledge. A just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weights in the bag are his work. A man who loves wisdom makes his father glad, but he who keeps company with harlots wastes his wealth. A man who walks with integrity walks securely, but he who perverts his ways will become known. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge rightly, but the mouth of fools pours forth foolish. Better is a little with righteousness than vast revenues without justice. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. He who guards his mouth preserves his life, but he who opens wide his lips shall have destruction. He who troubles his own house will inherit the wind, and the fool will be servant to the wise of heart. The Lord will not allow the righteous soul to famish, but he casts away the desire of the wicked. The wise woman builds her house, but the foolish pulls it down with her hands. A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. He who walks in his uprightness fears the Lord, but he who is perverse in his ways despises him. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. The Lord tests the hearts. He who is slow to wrath has great understanding, but he who is impulsive exalts folly. The way of the wicked is like darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than one perverse in his ways, though he be rich. A wise son heeds his father's instruction, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke. The rod and rebuke give wisdom, but a child left to himself brings shame to his mother. The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion. The wise will inherit glory, but shame shall be the legacy of fools. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the lazy man will be put to forced labor. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to turn one away from the snares of death. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked what is perverse.
The light of the eyes rejoices the heart, and a good report makes the bones healthy. A man's stomach shall be satisfied from the fruit of his mouth, from the produce of his lips he shall be filled. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. A man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who speaks lies will perish. He who is of a merry heart has a continual feast. A man's steps are of the Lord. How then can a man understand his own way? A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The backslider in heart will be filled with his own ways, but a good man will be satisfied from above. He who walks with integrity walks securely, but he who perverts his ways will become known. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. The heart of the righteous studies how to answer, but the way of the lazy man is like a hedge of thorns, but the way of the upright is a highway. The ear that hears the rebukes of life will abide among the wise. A man's gift makes room for him, and brings him before great men. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. The rich man's wealth is his strong city. The destruction of the poor is their poverty. The labor of the righteous leads to life, the wages of the wicked to sin. A prudent man foresees evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge rightly, but the mouth of fools pours forth foolishness. A wise man fears and departs from evil, but a fool rages and is self-confident. The righteous considers the cause of the poor, but the wicked does not understand such knowledge. The way of life winds upward for the wise, that he may turn away from hell below. He who sows iniquity will reap sorrow, and the rod of his anger will fail. The righteous eats to the satisfying of his soul, but the stomach of the wicked shall be in want. The wise in heart will receive commands, but a prating fool will fall. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. A man of great wrath will suffer punishment, for if you rescue him, you will have to do it again. The eyes of the Lord preserve knowledge, but he overthrows the words of the faithless. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who speaks lies shall perish. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. The wise store up knowledge, but the mouth of the fool invites ruin. A scoffer seeks wisdom and does not find it, but knowledge is easy to him who understands. He who trusts in his own heart is a fool, but whoever walks wisely will be delivered. As a dog returns to his own vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. The way of the fool is right in his own eyes, but he who heeds counsel is wise. The plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty, but those of everyone who is hasty, surely to poverty. The tongue of the wise promotes health. He who keeps instruction is in the way of life, but he who refuses correction goes astray. A wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish son is the grief of his mother. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the legacy of fools. The house of the wicked will be overthrown, but the tent of the upright will flourish.